All right. Welcome to the Hip Hop Hustle podcast. I'm extremely excited about my next guest. I've been looking forward to this for a while. We've been speaking for a while. The one and only Cuban Link. I mean, I have said on this podcast multiple times, my favorite rapper of all time is Big Pun. And so alongside Big Pun in Terror Squad is the one and only Cuban Link. I mean, I've been listening to you for years and years and years. So legitimately, I've been so excited about this podcast. I was telling my friends for like a month back, we were trying to set this up. Now we finally got it. But man, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Oh man, it's a pleasure being here, man. Pleasure being here, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, and it's good to hear that after all these years that we put out as artists, we put out in the game. I'm a pretty big, like a vet, a veteran. I'm a vet right now. I'm a veteran. So to be heard, artists like some other artists that spend the time that I've been inside the game, they don't get remembered as much. And you know what I'm saying? And I've been lucky. I've been lucky. Some fans, remember me. That means we hit the type of peak where it was a household name at one point, and that's the level. But I'll be surprised sometimes. I'll be the little young kids be knowing me and stuff like that. That's like the dads and their moms be telling them about me. So thank you for making me feel old as shit there, Aaron.
You're welcome, man. Look, I recently, with my youngest brother, we recently sat and I was like, all right, we got to listen to Capital Punishment together. Like we got to.
Yeah.
Like we literally just sat and listened to it. And I was just like, just listen. Like I can't explain why, like if I try to explain to anyone why that album is so good, it doesn't work, but you got to listen to it. And then once you listen, it like breaks your mind as to how good, how complex it is. And like, I don't know, did you know at the time when you were part of that recording that it would be, that good?
Classic. We just was going with it. We was going with it. I mean, those ideas, every idea that was there, it was a mutual thing. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, Pun made me almost like an executive producer, without getting the credit, what I'm saying? Because I was just there, building things with him, and creating like skits and stuff with him, and putting the albums like the sequence together. What should be the first song, second. So it was just incredible, like, what I'm saying? But at the same time, it was like so close to me. And I was I was a part of it with him. So it felt natural. That's what we was doing regardless. Before that, we just, we do that in the living room just by ourselves on some like playing around hobby shit. Like I'll come up with a name of a song and we just start writing to it. But he used to like force me to write. They take him out. And like a long time to write because I was critical of myself. But Pun he put that work in, and once he got that flowing, because when you're a writer, and you got to break that rust off first. It's really that with me. You know what I'm saying? Like if I stop for a minute, then I start again. It's gonna be a slow process till I get to the point where, what I'm saying, like, okay, I got the idea, is it flowing? That's how far, I'm saying, I'll be apart from rap sometimes. So when I get into that mode, I'm saying, he's got like Pun, when he got into that mode at that time, he never got off of it. So he was always, because he was definitely, he took it serious. I was still, messing around because I didn't even know I was gonna get a deal in that with Joe. So I was just being like Pun's apprentice in that level. But that taught me a lot. What I'm saying, from what like Joe was doing on stages and how he was performing, to Pun's hard work ethic and imagination, and all of that became a part of me when it was time for me to do my album.
Well, I mean, because it's not like you just turned up at Capital Punishment. Like you said, you were growing up, and like you guys were both on the Beat Nuts, Off the Books track, and like so you were literally growing up together. So it's like you guys really kind of navigated the music industry together. Did you, like, when you were young?
That was my bro. That was my bro before music. That was my brother before music. So that's what I'm saying. That friendship was there before music. So we did basketball together, boxing. We was doing all those kind of things together already. So it was like he was my partner, regardless. So that's why it was so natural.
And when you got signed to Joe, because you said you weren't, that's not something you ever expected. How did that feel? Like
Well,
when you got signed?
it was it was not ever expected. It was just far fetched at the time, and it was more about you step back because we started as a group. The name of the group was Full Eclipse. It was three of us, and it became four with two of them, the sick one, and we added him, and then by the time we was already making noise and everything, and we was going in the right direction. We still was taking it as a hobby, going around the block and just spitting rhymes in the corners and stuff like that. Just getting locally known. That Fat Joe heard about us through a mutual friend, and then I did the introduction in front of the bodega store between him and Pun, because Joe was from the block. Pun was from the Bronx, but he was around from my block, but he used to hang out around that block, since he was little. So he used to come to visit. And then we got together one day and we just, chill wherever the terror squad used to hang out, the street terror squad. We used to be like I was part of that, like as far as like the street sense and the street sense. And so was Pun, and then one day, Joe just pulled up and he went to the store, get some Diet Coke. I knew him from baseball. He used to play in baseball, softball leagues and stuff like that. So I knew him from what's up, how you doing? So I just told him, I said, yo, it was all right for my man to kick around for him. And Joe said, yeah, cool. Let me just get the Pepsi. We got the Pepsi, came out. Did the introduction. This my man Moondog, Joe. Yeah. Pun just kicked that to the rhyme where he snatched the moon out the sky and blew the sun away. Me and my brothers play hardball, strictly hardcore lyrics till I'm finished breaking God's laws. My job's raw, but I got to do it. Feeling hot and booted, so you might get shot and lose a lot of fluid. Spot blew it at an early age, even since curvy braids. I would earn a wage with the 30 gauge. There's many ways to get paid if you got the boss. The black course, hardest cop to drop his jaws. Stop and pause. Yeah. That's my bro right there. So he blew his mind away with that. Joe immediately was open on him. Then they met up later on during the week, and I guess they spoke. And then my brother came back and said, "Yo, you want to mess with me? You know what I'm saying? You just want to mess with me." Like in that sense, like he just want to rock with me, not with y'all. But he said it, in that way, and I was like, "No problem, my nigga. Hell yeah, do that shit. Do that shit." You know what I'm saying? Because me, like I said, I was still like, I was going to college. I was just having my first son. I remember my wife was pregnant at the time, so I had a lot of things in my mind. So I didn't know, that's the law stages. You know what I'm saying? But Pun definitely guided me to the right, to my right destiny. You know what I'm saying? Having him there, pushing me to keep on. You know what I'm saying? Because regardless, Joe don't put you on, I'm gonna put you on, nigga. So he gave me an incentive, to go even harder. So he used to take me around to wherever he was going, wherever Joe would send him to do like a job. He got to spit on some feature. Pun would take me, Triple Seis, with him. He kept it loyal like that. After Joe, split the group up like that. And then one day we went to the Beatnuts, into a Beatnuts session. Didn't know him ever from a hole in the wall as far as personally, but heard of their music, the Rain and the Tech and all of that. Juju and Les. We was actually Juju's crib. He had the duplex in Queens in Corona. And we just walked up in there, he had the kids, the twins. And he had the loft. It was like a loft. It was up in the loft. That was the studio, and then they played the Pun the beat because we were not supposed to be on that song. We just came along with Pun. So
really, so you weren't supposed to be there.
Nah, that was his fate. And Pun with his insistent, being so persistent with it about bringing us along that we just came there. Me, Triple Seis, and Pun went to the session. I had the car, so I had to drive him. I had the hoopty. Pun's car, I think, was in the shop at the time. So I was doing the whole, running the errands with the car, taking him wherever. So we took him there, yeah, and we was there. He put the Les played us a couple of beats, and then that beat came on. Me and Pun always like the strange shit. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe used to get on both of us because we used to like the strange beats. You know what I'm saying? But his type of strange is like, that's whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what he knows, he likes to go with whatever the crowd and the majority goes to as far as like sound. Me and Pun used to pick beats like you heard the the supernatural one, or super lyrical.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna throw the first, not the first one, the second one, the one that on the album with that crazy. It's like the fucking a bunch of bees coming out. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, we picked that beat back then. So again, Les played us the books beat. I was like, this damn. You know what I'm saying? Because that was just that raw, bap, bap, you know what I'm saying? That boom, bap, fast. Still, you know what I'm saying? Get you hyped up, shit. And that, Pun just started, they set up shop with the notebooks. Pun told me, yo, he gave me he told me to take out my notebook and start writing. I said, for what? This is for you, nigga. It's not for me, because I already knew, like, me and Joe already had our differences where he felt like we was using Pun now. Like, Pun's gonna get on, and then we use Pun so we could get on and you know what I'm saying, like use his juice or something. He couldn't be more wrong. We proved that already. We proved it from back then, but at the time he was thinking like that. So he told me to write. Triple Seis, grabbed it. You didn't have to tell Seis nothing. Seis would just grab the book and start fucking writing the whole album. We let him, because like his energy was up like that back then. Me, I was a slow. I got to make sure I say that. I got to make sure. So Pun had a rhyme. He had half a rhyme, which was the "So Love's Got." He had half that. He started filling up the spaces with the other eight bars, and then he told me, because I was stuck. He see me. I was fucking stuck. I was like, "What the fuck am I saying?" So we used to always go off like the last words of each other. So when he said, "That's it," and he told me, he said, "Yo, I'm gonna finish this shit with that's it, okay?" And then you come in. That's it. Like back and forth. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, cool. And then I got on. So that was the smartest shit ever for my brother to do, to actually market me, because that's the reason I stood in that song. Because they couldn't take that part out because it was together. Because they put Seis out. Seis had a whole 16. I only did 8. Because first of all, I had to do 8. But we didn't get a time limit. But something made me do 8 bars. Maybe I was just slow as fuck. And I was like, only got 8. Maybe it was that. But besides that, perfectly with the fly, Pelican Fly. You know what I'm saying? So it worked out. But it was Pun's genius idea to put me there and make sure that they couldn't take me off. That was the reason. So they couldn't fit Seis in because Seis was too long. And he killed it. He actually killed the verse. That's probably in the lost tapes. If somebody else, I'm sure Juju and them got it. But he was right after me, and he just did too much. And even if he didn't do too much, it was just too long. Because Pun did like more than, it was 16 or maybe 20. I think it was 16, but between mine and him, that's what 16 and 8. That's fucking what, 24.
24 bars,
20,
yeah.
So 24 bars. Back then you could go like 4 minutes. But then, you got the hook, you got all of that. So then you have Dumb, they're a duo. That's why Juju made 8 bars. And then you have Les that made the beat. He got the 16 bars. So, like they took off Seis because it's like the third wheel, I guess. But Seis killed that. But that's the reason why Cuban Link was off the books. And I still wasn't signed to Joe. I still didn't have a deal yet. I still was considered like bottom shelf. You know what I'm saying, to Joe's, like his view of me. And Pun used to just drill him, yo, listen to this shit. Because I used to write, but not as often, but even the old shit, like Pun used to show me off to Joe. I used to kick shit. And he was, but when I did off the books, we did it. But I was like, oh shit. I didn't think nothing of it, because I was doing shows with them, still being Pun's hyping at the time. And out of nowhere, fucking Funkmaster Flex, like a couple of months later, start playing. Like he drops the bomb on that shit. New York, we was all over there with Showbiz, digging in the crates. The whole crew, Diamond D, Showbiz AG, Big L, was all there over there in Forest Avenue, by Forest Projects, by the bodega. And they had the cars. It looked like a drug dealer, man. The Showbiz had the drop top red Mercedes. So it was just, they were just chilling for no reason there. all of us together. I think it was a Friday night. And with me and Pun just, we was just chilling there on some humble shit. Pun was already, he was working already on Capital Punishment. And the song came on. And Showbiz is Benz's radio. And, Funk Master Flex was going crazy on it, like bringing it back. Hey, yo, New York City. You know how you talk. New York City. Y'all got it. What? Dropping bombs and all that shit. We was like, oh shit, that's our shit. We did with the B-Nuts. Me and Buzz are looking at each other like, oh shit. So that was a great moment for me. But I also remember, as far as like, Joe being mad at me at that same moment because of it. Because now he sees more than me. Me, I'm happy just on the strength that, damn, they took that song. I'm going to be the fucking, like, I'm on the radio. Song. Me. Pun was already on Firewater. He was doing already things. What would you do if you could do the unbelievable? He was already on those things. He was already getting every radio play. Me, I never got the radio play yet. That was my first song. So No Deal, not only affiliated but to the Terror Squad at the time, through Pun and working with him on that because Joe was still busy with Pun. Getting him into the industry. But yeah, Joe got mad at me and said, "Don't think you all of that. Don't think you all of that now." Stink ass face. I remember that stink face he put. I said, "What you talking about, man?" And I was smiling. You know what I'm saying? I was smiling like, "What you talking about?" Because I already know, like, okay, what the fuck? Supposed to be happy. But now later on I understood that, why he was, on that extra, defensive shit. He never apologized later on, you know what I'm saying, for a nigga's realness and loyalty. But, he did those things. I remember those things. And, he took it like it was supposed to be like that. So maybe that was the reason why he felt like he did, that he acted a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, with me, I always, was never a yes man. Not to Pun, not to Joe. I was definitely Pun's best friend, though. But he didn't like that either. He didn't like that. I thought, at the end, because let me not skip a chapter. After he got mad and all that shit with Off the Books and all that, that was the entry card for Cuban Link. That's when they did the video. It's my first video. That was Pun's first video. So I got the chance, to debut his image because he already knew him. They just didn't know if he was black. You know what I'm saying? How he looked, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they thought a lot of people thought he was black because we came into those mom and pop stores and through the grassroots with the colleges. So we came through that avenue, and that's like underground hip hop. So they was hearing about Pun already. And but actually the Off the Books song let the world know how Pun looks, you know what I'm saying, what he's about. And that was actually my fucking, I snuck in this, like I snuck in America with fucking Marielle in 1980. I snuck in that song. And you got certain people mad, of course, and you got other people's clapping. But yeah, that was the song actually that Joe took to the label, to Atlantic Records. That raised the awareness about who's next in Terror Squad after Pun, and they was already looking after that. You know what I'm saying? Once Pun's dropped, shit went crazy. So all of that was happening at once. Off the Books, set up Pun with his album Capital Punishment. Pun just kept dropping his, saying the hot shit. Right after that, he took off. Me, I was like, I was there doing songs with Pun in his album, still traveling with him and all of that. And then I got hot to the point where labels was doing a bidding war. And, Joe asked me, basically asked me, he wanted to appoint himself, the deal breaker, the one who goes and shop the deal for me. And all that. I was like, of course, thinking at the end of the day, that's, you earn your roots, you earn your dues like that. But definitely, I let him do it. He went up there. He polyed a nice little deal for me, $1.4 million with Atlantic Records. He had a kicker to that. They gave him a $10 million album deal alongside with that. So part of my deal was his deal. Because I was the art. He signed me straight to Atlantic Records, and he got the $10 million deal, Terror Squad, for a label. So that's a whole different fucking section. That's a big book. You see the
Yeah.
business side, how it goes. Not too many people know the business side, but that's how it went, right? So now you start looking at that side, then you're gonna understand all the turmoil and all the craziness that happened after that.
Because I'm interested in two things. The first is like, you know, when you talk to me about, you know, what it was like coming up and that you're, you know, rapping on the streets and that you're kind of, and then, you know, you've got mutual connections and you introduce people that way. Like it feels so foreign to the world we live in right now, which feels like you kind of rap on the internet and then people see your videos and that's how you come on and you built like a cult following. Like, do you see the huge differential between, you know, what you were doing when you were coming up and what Pun was doing when he was coming up versus what artists are doing now?
I applaud the artists right now. I'm really happy that situation exists, and you know what I'm saying, because that's something that benefits me in the situation I've been in for a long time. You know, thinking, you know, regardless of the fact, you know, everybody makes, you know, everybody has a arch rival. Sometimes it's usually your family member, your best friend. It turns, you know, just like a fucking novel, one of those crazy movies where, you know, the devil, God, you know, they you know, he was an angel once. It was all of that. Like, you know, the connection was always there. The relationship was there between me and Joe, and then, you know, the fallout became where, you know, we became, you know, enemies. You know, in all aspects in his level. So, but of course, you know, you got to give that energy. That energy's gonna come back, and it definitely was like that. But then it was the cheap shots. It was the old, damn, we don't come from that world, you know. Start trying to put gag orders and shit, and sending, you know, calling cops and shit, and things like that. You know, that we don't, I didn't respect, and you know, that was the difference. But as far as like the grind, the difference, I don't know. Well, saying that the guys today don't earn it, but definitely back then it was hard work. It was hard work because you really had to go physically and go to these places and go to these moms and pops stores. You know, moms and pop stores are like the little record shops. Back in the days, they used to have in the corner, like the Southern Boulevard. They had one there. You know, every little neighborhood had a little, you know, record shop. Like back in the days, we go there, we take our pictures. You know, we give them love, sign autographs, we sign the actual LPs, and for the fans, and that's how we meet and greets. You know, and that's how you market yourself in a grassroots level back then, and that's fucking like like, let's just say that's like 10 stops, just one, you know, one city, not even state. You understand? So you got to keep doing this off and on like that all the way to the east. That's, you know, that's the East Coast. We did that East Coast first, then we went to the West Coast. But it's just a lot of work, even though you have to still do that. But you know, but to get a deal, it was like, you know, basically putting that work in, that's noticeable. You know, that's, you know, you get the chance, an opportunity for somebody to stand in front of somebody and showcase your talent. And basically, you know, of course I feel like lucky, but then, you know, I felt lucky at the time, even though, you know, it's like, you know, somebody hit the lotto and they were sitting next to you. It's like that type of luck. It's like, oh shit, that thing was right there. Oh shit, you know, not that, you know, suck up to the dude so he can give you money. But imagine if that's your friend. It's like, yo, my friend hit the fucking lotto. So at the end of the day, you're just happy, you know what I'm saying, for the fact that he hit it, but you understood why he got it. You understood that Pun deserved it because he was that incredible later on, you know. Me, I'm just like, oh, shit, you know what I'm saying, just excited for my, you know, my best friend. And I know that I knew that I could chop it up with him, and he takes my word like musically, where I could be an influence, you know what I'm saying, and really check out if people like my stuff through him. So that's basically, you know, my role, that how I learned the ropes. You know, how grateful I am to Pun. That's why I give him a letter every time. Every time I drop an album, there's gonna be a letter to him, just addressing every fucking thing, like a, you know, like just putting him on. Even though I know he sees and he's still with us, but I still, you know, want to write the letter. So I put him on in what's happening in whatever era we're in, whatever day, this time we're in, with, you know, current events, what's going on. Put him on.
It always, like when you describe that of like, you know, Pun, it felt like Pun hit the lottery, even though he is an amazing rapper, and he was an amazing rapper. It makes me think, like, how many other artists are out there or were out there with maybe not the same skill set, but a really good skill set and had great potential, but never had the opportunity. They just, for whatever reason, whether they just were never found or something happened. But I always wonder, like, especially in that era, like how many artists there would have been around that had a really good skill set that never got on.
Oh man, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. We came up listening to some guys around my way. They was named Young and Ruthless. Seis was actually third member of it. That's how, you know, Seis got with us because they had a little group called Young and Ruthless. Three illest motherfuckers I ever heard in my life coming up. And I'm saying Seis was one of them. So it was JQ, it was TUD, and it was Triple Seis, which his name was Joker Jam at the time. They had a group called Young and Ruthless. And they were just local cats, man. But they was into the music that, like, I wasn't even into the hip hop like on it like that, like as far as like being an MC like that, but I was behind the scenes, you know, some shy shit, still writing rhymes in school and stuff, but he was on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Pun wasn't even writing yet. I mean rhyming that we knew, like he would, I didn't even know Pun rhymed at the time when Seis was doing this. But you know, so Seis was like the middle guy that, you know what I'm saying, inspired us too to really take it to the next level because he was so dope. You know, Joker Jam and I remember well, what I'm saying about the level that he was on, it was, he already got a contract. You know, he already got with the contracts back then. They was already rocking with like McGruff, you know about McGruff, you know, from Harlem and all of that. You know, he did songs with him. There was at the same time that McGruff was trying to come up, and he came up with Heavy D at the same time. You know, like he was already out there, fucking performing in front of people, rapping, battling. Like Seis had that experience already when he came with us, and he was always the pusher to write. Oh, come on, you gotta put him to write. Come on, let's think. And then he'll be the nigga in the hallway with the beat, you know, with the crazy hands. I don't know how to stand. He makes shit sound like, he make regular like metal sound like fucking like bongos and fucking congas. And I'm like, yo, you know. So he's definitely skilled to the top when, you know what I'm saying, with the hip hop, you know, with his craft. And he was definitely a push. We all played a part, you know. I like to definitely understand that was what we did. You know, I played my part, Seis played his part, Pun, of course, played his part. We all helped each other as a team. We was a group. So you know how groups do it, you know what I'm saying? We were there as one. So when Joe came, you know, and he started seeing Pun's talent now, you know, which, you know, because Joe used to be always too in front of Pun, telling him, I'll do it this way, like he's leading, until, you know, Pun was a hard-headed way. It's like, Pun knew what the hell he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pun is a leader. He just made himself humble enough to take his lead, because Joe is definitely one of those dudes that you know, you got love for him, you don't, and then he shows you a side that, you know, whatever it is, but he just got away. He's got away. Sometimes he could drag you to the ground, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's natural for you to do that, talk to somebody a certain way. So, you know, he never did that with Pun to the point of that, but he used to get mad if he didn't listen and stuff like that, but not to the point where, you know what I'm saying, he jeopardized the business relationship. But in the beginning, he was definitely told, you know, Pun to do certain things, which he guided him, you know, perfectly in the business, putting them in the front of the right people at all times. He did. That, you know, he gets credit for. And opening up doors in the business world for him, for people to showcase, you know, his talent, Pun's talent, put him in places where he wouldn't know him to be at the highest level, so people could listen to him and get impressed. So Joe did that. But as far as like lyrically, creatively, you know, that's when Pun made fun of him. You know, you try to over, you know, you get. Sometimes people get happy just because you're good at this. I don't mean you're good at that. And then, you know what I'm saying. So it was like that. And Pun used to always stick the knife in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just poke them. Like, let me do this. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? In that field, in the creative lyrical shit and ideas and stuff. He's the one who actually changed his whole Fat Joe the Gangster and all that. He told him your third album should be Don Cardi Jr. You're bigger now. You're second. Like,
I was gonna say that, like, the era of Fat Joe, Big Pun, like that era of Fat Joe's music, in my opinion, is the hardest lyrical. Like it felt like Big Pun
Yep.
elevated everything Fat Joe was doing, and like
He was writing it for him. He was writing it for him. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he was writing it for him. We was writing it for him. But Pun did like 90% of the right. You could tell. I mean, people are not dumb. You know, you could tell who shot you. Who the fuck you think you're talking to? I'm gonna do, you know what I'm saying? They think like, Joey Crack can be like bad news. That was him. You seen the other shit when he started doing the other faster thing. It was not him progressively learning. It was Pun writing shit. You know, even though he learned how to say it, you know, because we would be there in the studio, not like that, not like that, not like that. 20 takes until he get it right, every line. And he definitely worked hard. I'm saying that either. But, you know, and the reason I have to say this is because, you know, Punt, my brother never got no credit for those, you know, Don Cartagena. His royalty checks never came. So that means Joe never added him as a writer. And I felt like, you know, saying that's a disrespect. Talking about that's your twin, you love him, this, that, and that. Yeah, you're taking money from his kids, his wife, and his legacy, and using it. And then have the face to, you know, really be out here talking about that's your brother. You know, Twin was just a song. We all know at the end of the day, you know, Paul was talking about me when it comes to Twin. Everybody knew that. Now for them to say that, you know, I know that. I take it, you know, we know. You know what I'm saying? When you know something, you don't have to go overboard and go crazy with it, you know. But he knows. You know, everybody that was around there and seen the story knows that. Now, the fact that I feel like the fake twin is the one that's taken actually advantage. He took advantage of the actual you know, of the movement of what Pun did, and you know, what he gave, all the energy he gave, free work that he gave, put in. You know, it's not paying dues after a while. It's like, you know, Pun went triple platinum, my brother. He was gold. Joe went gold with Don Cartagena. Pun went triple platinum with Still Not a Player. The album, Capital Punishment. And you could see the difference, you know, in the creative part. Not saying that Joe didn't deserve to get no money or nothing. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to tell you, you know, when you call somebody a brother, the brother is supposed to treat you fair, half-half. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about half-half where everything is legitly, you know, you're not overcharging them. You actually give him some love because that's your brother. But you're gonna, you know that you can have his back because he's gonna have your back. That's a brother to me, right? That's a relationship me and Pun have. And Joe he proclaims that way. If we would just stick to the business side, I would respect it more. But all these years, he's claiming something so he could get that lust from people. That he was this, he was that, he was a good guy, and he never took advantage of that. And you know, that's not the truth. So that's the problem. Okay, Aaron, you try to take me to the fucking darkness. I see you. So,
hey man, if you bring it up, I'm gonna ask you about it. So
no, you can do it. I'm fucking with you. Go ahead. You can ask me anything. But you know, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. I'm not even talking about my situation with him yet. I'm just talking about Pun's situation with
well, I was
Joe.
gonna ask you because you said that, you know, Pun was writing, and I'm interested because in Twins, like
he wrote the whole thing. The whole thing, he wrote everything.
Because I was going to say, Fat Joe, his bars on that are so good, arguably almost better than Pun's in Twins.
Never. But just never. I mean, you could try it. I like, you know, because after a while, Joe he felt comfortable in the pocket. You know, he felt comfortable. He sounded too much like Pun, but he sounded different than when he came off. So, you know, it's almost like it almost look, and Pun did it deliberately like that. He didn't want him to sound exactly like Pun, like him. So he would write him a certain way, you know, like he could catch. After a while, he got his speech down packed. The format. You know what I'm saying? When he can't speed it, he can't do the dead in the middle of little Lily. He can't do that, but he'll do. You know what I'm saying? He'll hang with him. You know, he just could hang with him. So that was a great team. You know, those different ingredients make a great song at the end of the day. You know, but Pun wrote the whole thing. You know, Pun wrote the whole Twins. He wrote the whole Twins, and he wrote most of Joe's stuff. And like I said, the only reason that I say these things because, certain people, which is him, he gets on and say he should be one of the top MCs, and he's the best MC. He's in the charts #1, and saying he's one of them from the real cloth, which he is from the real cloth. But when it comes to lyrics, you cannot be one of the top dudes and you get your ghost. You got a ghostwriter, right? So at the end of the day, it's like it's that bravado, that ego that takes you to the next shit. And you can tell I could tell because I know him personally. So at the end of the day, I can see how the money and the power and the fame, get certain people to be like exposing themselves also. They're trying to be more than that. That humility have left them because they was never humble. They was just playing that part to use that to get to that level that you was on. They wanted to be where you was at, and that's it. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? When the actions that he took behind it, as far as like in real life, are the actions which he did. And I think if you go back into the archives, y'all could check that out for yourselves. How he went, on radio stations, him and Pun's wife arguing, calling out, every name in the book, me defending Pun and shit like that, and he goes against it. So it's different. It's a different view for the people, and that was not an image that was shown ever outside back in the days. We looked from outside in, we looked like we was family.
How was it when Pun gained a lot of weight? I've always wondered like the effect because obviously he started becoming extremely unhealthy. There were periods where he wasn't standing at shows, he was sitting, and ultimately that became his downfall. But how was it? And a lot of it comes from his background of like as soon as he had money, that was like the way he expressed love was like through food and like going, hey, let me provide for everybody around me. And it was just like this, it was like this childhood trauma that carried through. But how was it when it started happening like visibly? He was never a small guy, but like as it progressed, it started to get more dangerous and more worrying.
Yeah. It was to the point where, you sit down in the living room, because Pun used to do active stuff. They played ball together, basketball together. I seen Pun when he was 180, 180 pounds, but he's always a wide 180. He was a wide body 180. The big bone guys that you see.
Well, there's a photo of him of 180 pound. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was like, you could tell that he's like, he could hold more weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, just people like that, some wide bone people, you see like they just, it's physically like Neanderthalic. He like to call himself that. So he was brutally handsome, exactly. So me and Pun used to be boxing together. Talking about boxing, like not regular, let me hit the pads. Talking about with a trainer and everything. Shout out to Mitch. You know what I'm saying? For Fort Apache. 167 in Prospect. 167 in Interville around there. At Southern Boulevard. So we used to have the trainer, no joke. Like, no joke. Like Rocky, little fucking, what's the nigga name? What was Rocky's fucking trainer? Mickey?
Yeah.
But worse than Mickey. Black motherfucker with one go through like this Mitch. To be like, hey, hit it. Hey, come on, heavy. Come on. I'm talking about Pun had fucking Tyson combinations where it's like the quickness and everything. I'm talking about ridiculous. Like the pow, hitting. You learn that when we started from scratch with him. Me too. I was in there too. But in boxing, like you can even tell that in boxing. Like we went to the gym so much and all of that. You lose weight fast because it's just a type of training that you do in boxing. You put it's one thing you put Abilene. It was a secret, like a boxing secret. The face cream is called Abilene. It comes in a jar. You put it in your stomach. You put the whole shit. Like you rub it around yourself, and then you put a glad bag on it. And you go run. You work out on it. It makes you sweat even more. Right. So there's tricks like that, and of course the kinesthetics. Because you can't lift weight. That boxes, they make weight. And we was going for like professional shit. We going there, what I'm saying, just self-defense. We was like, we got into it so much that it was like combinations and fucking, and you know, we got really good to the point like Mitch, you know what I'm saying? The trainer was like this, yo, y'all crazy. And you know, we train different times. We can't train this together. We start laughing and fuck shit up, and Mitch fucking punishes us, you know. But we'll go different times, and I would lose weight. Is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? You lose weight fast, but also gain weight fast. And I seen other, you know, fucking boxes in there that I seen, and I'll be like, how the fuck this nigga lost all that pounds? Like I seen it 350, 450. The nigga's fight like 5'5", 450 pounds to go in there, like 2 or 3 months. Cock diesel, like this, fighting. No steroids or nothing. You can't afford steroids over there where we from. So it was really just like that hard training, that mindset that I could do it. So when Pun was doing all that shit, you know, that break was a little too long. You know, because he used to take breaks, and then we used to work out. Like every 3-4 months, we used to go work out, take a break like that. Especially when we was boxing. So he was able to lose weight like that back then. But you know, you get caught up like that, you get to start not, you know, being physical anymore. You start just being in the living room. Your wife is telling your wife to get, you know, make food, and then you there trying to break your brain, because now the work you're doing is with your mind. It's not so much with, you know, physical. So that's definitely one reason why he gained so much weight. And then the advancing inside the game, that money, you know, that money. Pun was one of them dudes, like the more money and power, you feel powerful. Where it's like your partner, you know that's wrong right there. It could be anything. You ask him anything. Your partner, you know that's not color blue. That is not the color blue. You know, by the time he had a Rolex, like, well, my the diamonds in my Rolex says you're wrong, and I'm right. You know, he'll say some stupid shit like that. I would laugh, but I'm like, you're a dick. Like, you're a dick. You better stop doing that shit, nigga. I'm not one of them little yes men. Because he started with the yes men. You know, people that just are stunned because he's the Punisher, and they'll do anything for him. So the fatter he got, the bigger he got, the more he got people to be his arms, his legs, and you know, some Xavier shit from X-Men. The professor, he started just controlling people with his mind, and you know, kind of forgot about his health. It definitely got lost. We all get lost. Certain, you know, some people, and they got lost with drugs. You know what I'm saying? Not me, but I'm saying I seen that. They got lost with the fame, the pressure. You know, they get lost. You know, but you know, a real team helps everybody get through with it if it's a real team. You know, Pun made his choice when he picked up a fucking burger. He knew. It's not like he didn't know. You know, he was the type of dude not to ask, never ask for help with that ever. I used to be the dickhead. I used to be like, you know, from my talks behind the scenes with him. Well, yo, twin, you gotta stop for real, my nigga. Stop. I see you get bigger. You stop your shit. I mean, come on, man. I don't even eat. Eat 1 time a day. Ask Liza. But his wife, you know, Liza, the kids, they all vouch for him. You know, I heard that so much, and I've seen the opposite so much that after a while I was like, I gotta stop lying, you fucks. Stop fucking lying to me. Like I was the opposite. I was the eyeball. But he knew that. Like that's why he had mad love also. Because he knew that he couldn't pull one on him, you know. And he's just too much control in the circle. And that was a problem with it. Definitely with the balance. You know, and he definitely had childhood trauma that you know that definitely put that shit to the next level. But I think he was never in a dire situation in his head where he needed to lose weight. At the end, I remember that he asked me to come over, and we talked. He said, "I think I'm gonna do the surgery." Because before that, like, the surgery was out. You know, we boxing. Like I said, we from the ground up, the grassroots. So he didn't believe in the fucking no surgeries, no tying the fucking stomach, the intestines, you know, none of that shit. You know, he believed in getting it, like earning it. And that's the right way. The mentality behind that is the right way, because you earn it and you know how to keep it. You know how to keep it because you know that you're not going to jeopardize all the work you put in. So you need to go through all that so you respect it, you know, and stay that. You're not like you get a surgery and then you fuck it up, you know what I'm saying? As far as like you go overeat or something happens, you know, So, well, that was the excuse he used to that point.
Yeah, because I watched his documentary, and he's like, there's a quote in there saying that like he would say that like, hey, I can lose this if I want to lose it, and he would fluctuate. He would start for a bit, and he'd lose like 20 pounds real quick, but then he'd gain 40.
But he didn't tell you. He didn't tell everybody, but you thought he was slick again. That when you're fucking that big, you lose fucking 50 pounds and just getting up or just walking to the fucking to outside your house. You know what I'm saying? That's water weight. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's easy to lose. It's after you stop. And you could, I mean, you know about that. Then you understand it's after that cap settles in, all the water weight is gone and you're working out already and your body is getting used to it. Your metabolism is speeding up. And now that's when you fucking, that's when you really have to be strong and go forward with it. And he knew that. And he could do that. He could. But all that shit, I lost 100 pounds and I knew my brother. You know what I'm saying? I knew my brother and I knew when he was in a fat farm, I knew at the end of the day, you had the kids sneaking in fucking chicken McNuggets in their fucking, in their pockets. I know that. He had his wife sneaking in a fucking, 40 ounce of fucking Pepsi. I knew that. But now everybody's behind it because you got Joe and everybody else in that asked him to go. So he finally went. I was proud of that. He actually asked me to go to the fat farm with him. And I was working on my album. I was like, "Damn, twin, I'm over here doing my shit. You're not even here to help me." You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you doing a fat farm over there? I know you fucking sneaking in fucking chips and shit like that. And he started laughing on it. Because he knows that I don't have. So
because the thing is you can hear the difference in capital punishment fun and when it really becomes a big problem. Like he was not skinny in capital punishment. He's still a big guy. But like
it was 320, 280. Yep.
Yeah, I can like, especially because I've listened to his music a lot. You can hear that the rhymes, like his breath control started to disappear. He didn't have the same breath control, which I've always marveled. Yeah. Like he had such long bars without breathing. And then you can hear that it gets shorter and shorter and the complexity and just how smooth it was started to disappear. And so I want to know, like, everyone would have heard that. And he would have heard that.
At that time, it was so much like people that just was glorifying him for capital punishment. They got to Yeah Baby. And I think that wasn't even an issue as it was when he was like outside of it. Like inside that circle, where it was, you know what I'm saying? It was just his world where he controlled everything, just like everybody. I mean, when they make their own little world and, around them, they want to be the leader, they'll be the leader, but some just, you know what I'm saying? It's a choice, Some people don't like that. Just like Joe. Joe wants to be the leader of that. And, right or wrong or whatever the fuck he does, he wants everybody to back him up on it. That's just, shit people, that's humanity. I never been like that though. I didn't fit in there. But me and Pun, he always had that respect for me. That he knew about I knew, things me and him know. I know what he's doing. And you think I didn't tell him that? I'm the first motherfucker to tell him that, on the side. And I tell him that. And he took it. He knew what I was doing. I knew that he wanted to do that shit. That's the problem. Like, he knew that he was doing that shit. So once you know you're doing something and you're doing it deliberately, now it's on you, right? But at the same time, I care about you, right? So I'm telling you, listen, but you gotta stop, my nigga. You gotta stop. And then he's a jokester. So he starts snapping and then he gets personal with the snaps because he knows personal shit about me. So he starts shit. And then he's yes man, then he's there, he makes people laugh, and I start snuffing the fucking yes man, then I'm the enemy in that circle. But he's the one who causes it because he does that shit. So, but at the end of the day, he always called me like, I know. Like just for example, like the Yeah Baby album was a problem because who you think was the nigga who tweaked everything, who made the skits at the end when he passed, because the album wasn't finished, who put together songs for him, who was there to mix every song with the guy who was mixing it to make sure he gets it the right way, that punt, and fix all those extra breaths. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know, before that shit, that shit was crazy. It was an unfinished project. You could hear the difference. I heard everything. The fucking instrumentals. I mean, just the vocals, just soloed out. I heard it. So I was every day, going taking out breaths, putting on breaths, the punches. You know, when he punches in. I was there to do all of that for Yeah Baby album. I didn't get no credit, but I was me. All the sketches you heard on Yeah Baby was me. I remember when the nigga told me about fucking Ed Goya. I remember when he did the fucking with the fucking Igor and he wanted to fucking put, you know, Coogee Rap and Kane and everybody together with Mark Anthony. I remember that. We spoke about it. That's where the skits came from. You know, and it was me really doing that for him. And that's no money, you know. But at the end of the day, I do that for my brother because I want the best for him regardless. So I didn't get paid for that, which I know there was a check out there probably for that type of shit. I wasn't thinking about all that. I'm thinking about my brother and how the fuck we get down and, you know what I'm saying, in music. And I don't want him to ever be, you know, embarrassed or less than, you know, his efforts as far as like what, you know, his performance in the song. So I overdid shit. And, you know, it was different mixers, but, you know, people mixed his songs. They was doing like fucking 4 rooms at a time. So I would go to Sony Studios right there, just, you know, go back and forth and create and tell him, you know what I'm saying? Because I knew what he wanted. I knew what he was on. When it came to music, I knew his whole format, you know. And,
it must have been tough though to do it, like, because
yeah,
obviously you're so close to him
very,
and you have such a good relationship, and then
yeah.
to actually have to go in and still edit his unfinished project, like, must have been extremely difficult to just like, we'd all do it out of a loyalty to our friend and what they meant to us, but emotionally it must have been quite a tough period for you.
Of course. There's nothing tougher than really seeing your friend go in the oven, you get turned to ashes, right? So I saw that. You know, I was literally there, me, his wife, and his kids. See them go in the oven. So there's nothing harder than that. That's when you start, you know, that's your first close person that you lose ever. You know, that's your virgin. That's fucking, you know, you pop the cherry with that. I fucking destroyed my cherry with that. Fucking pussy's no good no more after that. So at the end of the day, that fucked me up. But you know, I knew the mission ahead. I knew where he left. I knew what he wanted. I was on that. I was on teamwork. At that time, that was when my mind definitely, even though I ain't get no therapy, I don't believe in therapy in the hood. That's when I was definitely on my teamwork, where I'm trying to get the positivity of the people to unite. And at that time, when I recollect now, is that they didn't want to come together. And they didn't want to come together because the leader didn't want that to happen. Because I remember. Now, was it purposely or not purposely because he was hurting too? I was hurting. And I know I definitely wanted the teamwork. The fuck is the difference between me and you? Oh, I know. We're different niggas. Some people are different. And, you know, and that was a crucial moment. But that was also a deciding moment. And then a deciding moment of how this family really is. Because before that, like I said, it started off with a little rocky me in his relationship. Then punched and glued that shit up. You know, I made him a believer. And after that, he got me that deal. It was very, very close. Very close with each other, me and Joe. And then, you know, then it got crazier when you know, at the end, when he was working on his album, and I started seeing and looking at his business practices, how, you know, he'll take 1 for me, 10 for him, 1 for me, 10, you know, for the crew, like selling our talent, and it's not equal. And I'm not the nigga to sit by, just talk. I mean, just sit there. I'm the dude that's gonna go, what the fuck is that you just did? No, count that shit. No. Slow it down, like the fucking count from fucking Sesame Street. 1 cookie, 2 cookies, 3 cookies. Let's do that because you're fucking going too fast over there. And then he, you know, I don't like that. Because now, you know, you got his hand caught in the cookie jar. And he knows it. So we left him so long, we trusted him so much to a point of the love of friendship that we left him alone and didn't even question it for a minute. And then when we we got to it where we started looking at it, seeing, oh shit, you're taking 50% Pun as a manager, and you the rent to everything, features. Pun's getting 70,000 for a feature. You getting what, 35,000? That's the deal he had with him. That's the deal he had with Pun. That's not fair, right? So what kind of brother does that to another brother? Or maybe one of them little crazy, fake fucking half brothers that do that to you. And, he's using you for the money, because money is more important than love. Okay, cool. Just say that though. You gangster, like you say you are. Say that. Don't fucking mock nobody and say that you're the best friend. You did this because you took more than you gave. Don't fuck around with me. That's the problem I have too. Now, what the fuck? I think you always get me in there, Aaron. You fucking me up now. What the fuck was that? Where was that?
Well, we were talking about how you were feeling, but you brought up what I actually wanted to ask you as well, what the fallout was, because you had an album 24K as well.
Damn, we need to get to that yet. I thought I got to that already.
Do you know what this is? This is a sign that we might have to do another part two. We might have to catch up again, because there's, as I said to you before, we like at the beginning, I'm a huge fan of this era, so I could talk about this for hours, and I just ask you questions.
Is it making sense though? But is it making sense to what you looked? Because remember, it's 3 stories, right? I got a song on my new album, right? Missing Link. It's called The Letter to Pun Part 2. I made a Part 2 to it. So it's 3 sides to a story. So at the end of the day, there you have it. I figured you're the next spectator, but you're from the outside looking in, right?
Yeah,
I'm the one who lived.
To be honest, I'd also want to hear Fat Joe's side as well.
But his side is out there.
Yeah,
side is out there.
But it's different. Years. It's different talking to somebody. I think like that's the thing. Like I'm pretty good generally at seeing whether it's false or whether it's true, whether they're spinning, because like I've done a lot of these, and so I can tell usually when people are just talking shit and they're just like saying a lie. And so the things that you're telling me don't surprise me in a way. Like it doesn't surprise me.
The only thing that should surprise you is how the fuck did this nigga get away with it so much? That's what should surprise me.
But that doesn't surprise me. But that's because everyone gets away with it. He's not the only one, and he was never the only one.
Well, get away with it, like get away with it with the people, not the inside of it, not the business side, where the people still have like salute you and praise you to a certain level, knowing you did that shit. That's because the story was never out like that. So the spin he put, you could go see it. He's been doing it for 23 years. I mean, if you want to hear anything behind it, matter of fact, he never even talked about our situation. He never, ever got on any podcast, any interview and said what happened. I did, right? I did. You seen 1,000 of my shit. I'm tired of saying it, but at the end of the day, y'all always ask me shit like that. So, I'm not the type of dude that go sideways with it. Yeah, on the other hand, he tells people, don't ask me about that. He's playing the art of war and probably not giving me the attention. Like he thinks I'm trying to do this for attention. Like motherfucker, that's a real thing that happened. What do you think you're gonna not talk about it and you think it's gonna fucking magically disappear? It's not gonna, especially with me. He's not, and he should know that. He knows that. So at the end of the day, he never got I went at him at songs to do it lyrically because these he don't want to do. That happened already, and then after that it was pushing people in front of him. You know what I'm saying? So he don't want to do that. So lyrically, I went, all right, I'm gonna body you in every fucking way. He don't want to even touch that lyrically. Never made a song about me. He did it about 50 though, but he didn't do it about me. Right? So his whole excuse about that is that you don't want to give me the light of day. Either I don't deserve it or you don't think I'm that good, or when the real reason is you're scared because I'm gonna body you in every aspect of the game. That's just me, right? And he knows that. Because competition is competition, lyrically, but I say shit that's real. That's the problem. I make lyrical shit happen. I'll take a real, my life, really, what happened between us, and put it in a fucking way that you're gonna fucking get scared. And that's what I think I did. I scared them a little too much. I scared a lot of people. And he promoted that fear to the business side. and they got scared of fucking with my project like that. And I became slowly, but 20 years and plus already, I became a real bad image in their eyes, you know, accordingly to what my description of, other
what
people.
Fat Joe did really well was rebrand. You know what I mean? Like after Pun, like that was his era of like, street. That was his era of like mean, nasty. And so now when I look at Fat Joe and the image that he has, it's like friendly, happy, go lucky type of dude. Like you can see the
Because
rebrand.
he fucking robbed the bank and he got away with it. That's what happened. I would be fucking happy too. Like this, chilling. Like I'm in the island all day wearing fucking straw hats, looking like a beluga whale on the beach. I would be just like that. I would lay back, but I just don't have it in me to do that to my friends and family. I don't have the face to face somebody and lie, like make up a lie in front of you because I know you know. Like I don't have the guts to do that. And that's just me. Like I said, I think it's a lot of niggas like me. Now, do we have a voice in this game? Is it right or wrong? Or do that make him a great businessman? Because he does that. Because he cut the throat of people that was his closest because he did it over money or fame. Yes, I guess in this game, it makes you the great businessman. Maybe he does. In America, it happens. Throughout history, that's what happened. The motherfuckers who started the bank, put America under debt for years and years to this day. Back in fucking 17, whatever the fuck, or 18 something. The bankers that gave credit out, America still owes that credit. And you can't even, go into the Federal Bank Reserve to get it because that's a private company. You see how deep I could go with it? So it is like that. It is where the thieves, the right thieves that do it in that type of level, the ones who backstab and, treacherous fucking actions, they become heroes. But it's usually them going out there way to make themselves look so good, and that's when you start seeing the devil, and I compare it to the devil because the devil, she's the master of disguise, right? So I put him out, like I put my mind onto like, he's dangerous now. He does that. He's liable to do anything, sell you anything, sell you poison, and with a smile. That's the devil to me. And that's the category I choose to put him because I can't ever trust you again. I see you lie. I see you lie to the people about things that you shouldn't lie about. You got up there and say, hey, you bought me a house. How the fuck you bought me a house, you psycho? I was the first nigga in church that bought a house with my little stupid $75,000 I got. I gave 25%. I bought me a house. The first guy. They were still renting, that. I didn't gloat about that. Oh yeah, I was the first one with the house. I never did that. We trying to inspire. From there, Pun got his own house before he bought his own house. We started buying houses. He was mad at me because I bought a house. This motherfucking jealous ones envies him. He's Jose. That's his name. He's Jose.
Does it make it tough to trust people now?
No, just big fat fucking white beluga whales. That's it. Just one. Not everybody. I treat everybody like an individual, but I definitely be keeping my my eye open, sharper. Still the same for most part as far as like my character. I can't let the devil win that. I can't let the devil do that because once you start doing it's like that's how I feel. Like I never even changed that because I'm still sociable guy. Still like a fucking class clown comedian. Sometimes I still enjoy my time with people. They always have fun around me. And yet in the industry setting, the whole shit is like, I'm the oddball. I'm ugly duckling. I'm the one that's drunk all the time. I'm the one that's fucking shit up and start fights. Me. And I'm like, what the, I had to realize like this is the Illuminati. They're all working together. And he does has a lot of friends. All the friends and all the artists, the managers behind, they're all against me. Bottom line, and they're all against me, not on some paranoid shit. Me, I just come to a realization. Fuck y'all. Cool. Damn, I didn't know me and you had beef. Yeah. But they'll smile at your face and they go back. Don't give that nigga no job. They crazy. Don't put that nigga on that fear, that friendship relationship that he has with people. It's been blocking me to do certain things that I know I was there to do. And then, it's evidence because I lived the evidence. And it directly goes to him. So it's like, damn, he going out your way for that. Still, a lot of hate there. I'm the one who was the victim, right? I think it was, right? I got cut, yeah. I mean, I punched you in the face because you punched me, but I was kind of winning. Then, I did kind of win the fucking fight up, but you had somebody who sliced me from the back. Okay, cool. But I got jumped, right? When you get jumped in a one-on-one fight, it's not fair, right? Okay, cool. So why the fuck am I not trying to go get you in a fucking house with, sitting about a hill with a rifle trying to kill you, or by every label just shitting on you not to get a deal? But you are. You're supposed to have one, right? You're the one that got scot free, nothing happened. Oh, but the way you talk, like he's the one that did the gangster shit. Whatever. Why are you still doing it? Oh, why? Because right? The strength. And that's the difference. That was what the mindset that I had to change about 4 years ago, 4 years ago. Because I was on my shit. I was on that Cuban bullshit, street shit, like rebuttaling things, more of that macho, you owe me one, what the fuck is my fight? I want to fight, bitch, ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I was on that, and I'm still am, but not as my front. That's not my front. That's not my first thing that I think about. But definitely, I'm aware of who's the enemy, and I'm aware of what the enemy is capable of doing, and what he has been doing since he's showing himself nowadays more in front of the cameras, in front of people that we could see. I see how I could put together, because I'm still it's still a puzzle, to a point. You know what I'm saying? What happened? Because that's how secret this fucking Cubanati motherfuckers been working, in silence and secret, and it's like, they poke it, and then as soon as somebody look at them, they start poking with the stick, and they put the stick behind their back, and be like, "Oh, I don't know why the fuck he's grounding for." That's what they've been doing to me, and I found out that that's how they beating me. I'm a dick. I'm falling for this trick, because that's not really me. I'm not really that gangster nigga that you know what I'm saying, that lives a gangster life where he gotta, what I'm saying, be watching his. Even though I do it anyway, because that's just we were raised in a hood. But I never wanted that role. I'm the cool guy. I'm Pun's best friend because we were fucking just having, that type of good time. And you see the character Pun has. He was a funny ass nigga, real nigga too. But he was a funny, comedian, creative, gifted guy. Joe, on the other hand, was not. Joe is the crack baby / have Down syndrome face, with the fucking, no talent really, but he had enough talent and no respect, so he could fucking stay above water. But his whole main thing is attaching himself like a parasite to those that have talent, and he sucks. Just like the name crack. Crack does. He makes the victim suck. He sucks everything out of the victim too. Even fucking eat his teeth too.
But I will say, with fairness to Fat Joe, he did identify. He did identify amazing talent. He has shown a unbelievable ability to identify amazing talent throughout his whole career, and and then also to allow them and to actually get them to blow up. So there's like the two parts of it, of like whether he screwed them all over is a different story, but the ability to find them and then make them blow is an amazing skill set.
They definitely blow. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you, in all fairness to you, as broke a bitch back, is that there's no fairness in being, if me giving, who gave me that? Not you. I'm not talking about you. But did my enemy ever give me that? At least, but did they ever give me those flowers ever? No. So, I can't say, he's he did great 1, 2, 3 stuff. But he set up his mother and he killed his moms. Like, I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that because it's like, I know. It's like when you remember fucking what was that movie? Charlie Sheen, and he knew the fuck the aliens are there, but nobody believes on it. It's like, these niggas are getting taken over and he has to do something. Not to that point, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, I'm not on it like that. but I definitely put out that red flag as far as like for the new generations to watch who they do business with. And I tell them their stories because of that. It's for that. See how incredible my shit is? As far as like what people will go the lengths of what the person that you thought was a friend of yours, of they know your kids grew together, whatever. Yeah, you had that relationship, and then you turn enemies. It's the Cain and Abel shit, of course, but that's what happened. As soon as whatever you wanted, you put me in a situation where I could get hurt, right? To hurt me. All right, so I got hurt. What you did afterwards determines, how real it is. So what he chose to do afterwards is the reason why I'm acting like this now. You understand? Because instead of him standing up like a man or a friend, somebody didn't know me and speaking to me in a certain way, telling me the right details that a friend would tell a friend. He showed me he was never a friend. And that was at the time when we was really close, whatever, we had business differences, because I would call him out as bullshit. I'm not going to have that, but that's just business, right? We just negotiated. But for him to actually do something like that, where, all these years, but you know what I'm saying, there's no answer for it. You try to hide it, you try to deny it, and you lie. And I see you do this, and then you take my friend and I know you're using him for his money, but yet you're saying you don't do it. And I could give you examples. What do we want to pull it out? That's what it is. Do people want to really, like the people in the industry? He takes care of a lot of people. A lot of people depend on him. So he's protected. And that's the reason. I understand that. That's not going to stop Cuban from not saying the truth. And Cuban couldn't give two fucks about yard people now. Because I noticed that, you rather hold and protect the lie so much that when I come with the truth, your whole fucking empire is going to fall and crumble. I mean, your fault, not mine. I was just telling the story that will liberate me. You know what I'm saying? From the bondages of your lies. That because you keep spreading lies, so much lies and things like that. People start believing if you don't defend yourself. So they told a story. I'm gonna tell mine. My story's not made up. My story you can feel, you can see, you can touch, because I'm gonna give you that vivid 3D fucking picture in your head when I say it, because I lived in it. You're gonna tell I lived it, because it's not. First of all, you can tell, like you said, you can tell a liar, you can tell it when it's bullshit, and let's bank on that from you.
Well, I was gonna say,
but you're not gonna ever say tell him the truth, right? Are you? I want you to say, Cuban, you fucking tell the truth. That nigga's a liar. Are you gonna ever say that? No.
Well,
because you're in the middle.
Like I said, I actually want to do another one with you where I can actually know the story, because we kind of jumped around a lot, and
Nope. That's gonna cost you 5 million pesos.
Yeah, let me say
Get the fuck out of here. No, but I'm saying though, you want to hear the story. How about this? We'll go to part 2, but you have to do your real research, right? Research your whole Fat Joe side, because you say, I gotta listen to his story. I want you to, next time, give it whatever, next month or 2 weeks from now. We'll do another one, part 2. And but you have all the information that you know now about, like what you've seen in the internet. I'm not gonna put you onto what. Just look at it. When they talks about Cuban Link and Big Pun, all that, like the controversy. Look at that. See his actions, because he's already like he's in real time. He's already in the past. He did those actions. Not like, yeah, but no, he actually. This is the role he took. This is what he did. Oh shit. This is what he did. This is what he did, and this is what happened after he did it, and that's what they did. Do that one, and then you catch up. And we're not going to talk about who's right or wrong, right? Because we know that.
Well, I just want to know more about your story too, because we've covered what I would say is like, I don't know, 5%, if that, of like actual career. Like we haven't touched on a lot of your career, and I think that is also extremely interesting to me, of like what happened in your career. And when we spoke about a lot of Big Pun, I think everyone does, but I actually want to also give you the time to talk about your own career and kind of where you're at. So that's also part of the bit part 2.
Of course. course.
But
Yeah, but you know, the people are gonna gravitate to the bullshit. You know that as far as like drama, you know, which is cool. I got drama in my life. I got happy times. I got sad times. I got just like everybody. So my drama is just fucking still going on as far as like the mystery of it. It's a fucking Scooby Doo van outside my house right now because they don't know who the fuck is the killer at the end of who's the monster, and that's the problem. I'm trying to find closure. And then, you know what I'm saying, the guys who's supposed to give you the closure because it was close to you and never gave you the closure. Instead, they try to shut the fuck up, like telling you, trying to buy you to shut up, put money. Fuck out of here, scientists. Now you know whose side they got. Understand? So they made a choice. That's what I'm saying. And now you're gonna owe me 20% for the rest of your life. Let me give you my fucking life story there.
We might have to write an autobiography. I can co-write it. You just want to give me credit.
No, no doubt. I'm in the process of writing it's called Linkfamous. Actually, the book. You know, and it's about my life. It's not. It's gonna be just titled. I mean, it's not titled. I mean, it's gonna be just really more about the destiny from my birth to you know what I'm saying, to my curtain call as far as fame. In between that, the actually shit I went through, which is before Terror Squad shit, I went through some other shit. And I'm talking about other shit since I was born. So it's interesting. It's an interesting story, definitely. Not just because it's mine, it's because I really lived it. I'm a fan of I'm such a fan of the truth. You know what I'm saying? Especially being in this game of entertainment. It's like the truth is taboo. You gotta make up lies to be the bad, you know, to either get a point across or whatever. It's like, why? Truth is so beautiful and so fucking creative itself. Or maybe it's just the talent I have, the God gave me. But I know it's interesting as fuck, and it's real stories, and it's just a real story that deals with, you know, the classic stories deal with, you know, the best departments as far as like, you know, the love life, you know, the drama, you know, the action. It's that type of book, that type of Linkfamous. So they didn't want to they couldn't stand me famous. They couldn't stand for me to be famous. So they made me infamous. So that's basically it. They made the Linkfamous.
Well, I love it, man. As I said, that's a great way to end. That's a great way to end part one. They made me Linkfamous, and then we go to part two. But as I said, like, I definitely want to set another one up so I can, understand more about your career and understand more about your journey. Because, you know, I'm always aware that like the fanboy started me, like the fan of I get distracted. So I want to also give enough time because I am legitimately also interested in your story.
You know, I used to embarrass pun because I was like you, like a fucking little groupie when it came to like niggas I know. I was a fucking asshole. I embarrassed that nigga pun. I used to be like when I first met G-Rap, and he was with, you know, the pun really knew G-Rap, he respected him. Like G-Rap respected pun. So I'm like, yo, right? So he brings me to the studio to meet him. I was like, oh shit, G-Rap, come on, nigga, you know, man. The pun looking at me like I'm fucking his image up now because his best friend is fucking like a bologna smoker. He's over there, you know, giving too much love to G-Rap and Kane and Nas. You know, shit, fucking Nas split my fucking toe-to-toe round. Back, you know, when he did John Blaze, the first John Blaze, the Mystic Studios in Staten Island. Pun fucking introduced me to Nas. I didn't even know he was there. That was one of my favorites. So he was in the pool room. Nigga just brought me into the pool room. I was outside waiting. They had me there was some flunky shit too in the pool. I was mad. Then Joe left. Then fucking Pun said, come on. So he stepped into the room and then Nas was there. And fucking Nas, the nigga said, that nigga Pun told him, you know, I said, what's up and everything. I said, oh shit, you know, right there. Like, oh shit, my nigga, no. Like a fucking nerd. I was just beginning, but I'm who I am. You know what I'm saying? Pun gave me the look of the eyes and he was like, hey, yo, do that, kick that shit you was kicking aside for him. He told Nas that. That nigga said, what up to him, whatever. I never back down. I hold my ground upon the body like Muhammad Ali. People been like up in the lobby. I said, fucking Nas knew fucking Rodolfo Rodriguez Ramirez rhyme. You're not supposed to know my shit. So that shit was extra dope. You know, that's an experience I'll never forget. Nas, at that time, you know, that's Stillmatic Nas. That's Street Dream Nas. Fucking the fucking poet MC of ever. So, that was a beautiful moment. My brother, he made that happen for me. He did it on purpose too. You know how he'll set up. He's a perfect fucking nigga to set you up for. It's usually a great experience. Not bad. Joe was the one that set you up for the bad shit. Paul was always a good surprise. You know what I'm saying? Even when it's bad, it was like probably salt. He'll twist the salt shit. And in a restaurant, he'll tell you, "No, my nigga, put some salt in your shit." You put your salt in, the whole fucking salt. Drops in your food and fuck up the food. So he'll do that type of shit, like that funny stuff. But Aaron, that's it. Stop, because part 3 is never coming out. Part 4, you have to definitely work hard for. 5 and 6, you gotta grab your crucifix. 7, 8, gotta pay up late, nigga.
Look, well, I always take it one part at a time. We got part 1, part 2's coming next.
Oh shit!
As I said,
it's gonna be 80 parts.
80 parts, but as I said, man, absolute pleasure to speak to you. We'll chat off the air, off recording to organize something. Yes, but yeah, as I said, I've been looking forward to this. I was looking forward to this for a long time. I've been telling my friends, like, I'm gonna speak to Cuban Link. I'm gonna nerd out on some pun shit. And so now I'm like, all right, now I gotta also nerd out some Cuban Link shit next time as well.
No, definitely. I know you Pun was your favorite rapper, and I always get this a lot,
He still is. He still is.
No, I'm sure. And I'm happy that he is. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I said that in my mind most of the time. I'm second to none unless it's Pun. In Glamour Life, I said that shit. He made me say that too, that motherfucker. He gave me that line.
Well, the crazy thing is, I didn't start listening to hip hop until Pun was not with us anymore. The first album I ever listened to was Get Rich or Die Trying. That was 2003. Pun passed away 2000. So that was a good one. That was the best album. I mean, that was the best album since still, I think. No other album. That was the last classic album, to me. And not to take away from what's going on, but something is going on. I remember Nas said, rapper's dad was looking at him like, rapper's not dead. I was saying that shit too. I was like, rapper's not dead, nigga, I'm here. I'm gonna make sure he's alive. But we didn't understand. Now they don't want a life. I understood, like, man. Well, the ingredients of rap was that the hollow, the gems got hollow. Shine is bright. Because fucking Aaron Brockovich went and fucking won a lawsuit, which broke the fucking hip hop game, and now he's got all the money and he's fucking up the game. So what's your for, Aaron? Yeah. The Aussie guy who just came in, just started from nothing, just looks on the inside, I broke it all. But to be honest, I know that I'm a spectator in this, and that it's always like it's a dream come true to be able to speak to people like you. So
pleasure,
I'm always thankful for anyone giving me their time. But man, as I said, absolute pleasure. We'll definitely have to do this again.
Definitely, my brother. You got my number. Y'all can catch me in CLK. CLK 24. Oh, what was I saying? Cuban Link 20. No, stop. IG. My IG is Cuban Link CLK. That's my thing there in IG. Felix Cuban Link Delgado page and Facebook. Twitter, don't know, but I'm in there somewhere. I don't use it as much, but I check the messages. I'm get into it right now. Twitter. Don't know what the fuck it's about, but there's a lot of action on it. Still kind of hot. I just gotta get to know how to do it. TikTok, I'm in there too, Cuban Link CLK. So that's where y'all can find me. And I'm coming out with a new album. It's a link. So you're not related to Aaron?
No, I'm not related to Aaron Brockovich.
Brockovich. You Brockovich for real.
I'm Berkovich. Yeah, she's Brockovich.
No, she was a Brockovich, but she became a richer bitch.
She did. She became very rich.
Hard work too. I love that movie. Fucking Julia Roberts, but I respect that was a true story. That's great. I said that in the round too. I brought that shit up. Nobody will ever bring Aaron Brockovich Aaron Brockovich into a rhyme. I did.
Yeah. Well, you can throw me in there. I'll give you permit. You can throw me if you want to use my name as a rhyme. I will again. That'll be something. That would break my brain.
So we got to sue 50 Cent's girlfriend. Her name is fucking Cuban Link. I don't know when too now. How the fuck is Cuban Link the girlfriend of fucking 50? I don't know. How the fucking Little Nas is pregnant in the fucking Emmys? You know what I'm saying? Little Nas, take a name like Nas. do that, it's blasphemy. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, if I was Nas, I wouldn't be thrilled. Lil Nas X. Yeah.
What about no? But you'll be thrilled if you was a little Nas.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, to be honest, I'm like,
you'll be,
do what you want, just don't use my name. I don't care what you do, just don't use my name.
That's what I'm saying, though. No, like anyway, the 50 Cent's girlfriend is not a rapper, but she's a fitness instructor, I think. But still got my name. Are you Cuban? Like I asked her, I tried to text her. I'm like, yo, excuse me, hello. Like, okay, are you Cuban Link? Like 14 carats, 10 carats? Because I know I'm 24 carats. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm the real one, right? Never hit you and never hit me back. That's way before that. But she never responded. Just she's doing the same thing. She's down with Joe. So at the end of the day, ignore me. They think they're gonna ignore the truth. So no.
Yeah, it's the Illuminati. It's Fat Joe and 50 Cent's girlfriend, Cuban Link.
No. I'm just playing with what I said. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like the Cubanati doesn't say they made it Cubanati, which is you know the little group, militia, the militia that's out there. Fucking my stuff up in the business. They're going out their way to fucking do hate crimes on the fucking internet on me. They're doing a lot of things. And yeah, Aaron, a fucking pleasure, my brother.
Same here, man.